Scott Dixon, you're ridiculous, man. This guy goes from P16 to P1 at the track that Penske owns, at the track that Joseph Newgarden owns, Newgarden Technology Raceway, and frickin' Scott Dixon. 2 races in a row. Someone we weren't even thinking about coming into the race. Someone who was, again, an afterthought. And what happens? The guy does the silliest things. 1 fewer pit stop than all of his rivals. Just destroys everybody. 3 drivers left on the lead lap at the end of this race. And that being Pato O'Ward and David Malukas behind him, who were almost a lap down. Again, this is just silly. But this strategy, this Chip Ganassi Racing strategy, is something that Scott Dixon can work to perfection, where he is able to save not only amazing amounts of fuel, stretch his fuel tank beyond reasonable limits, but the key thing that he did that others behind him fell in line with was backing the pace down and having a lot of challengers who we thought might be able to catch him or run him down decide, well, maybe we should back down our pace as well, save fuel as well. We had a couple cautions. Benjamin Peterson got hit by Ed Carpenter, taken out on the first lap. Takuma Sato crashed on his own, unfortunately. But we didn't have a lot of yellows, therefore Scott Dixon going into fuel-saving mode. Mike Hull, the race strategist for this number 9 Chip Ganassi Racing Honda, again, just flawless, ridiculous. And we had Joseph Newgarden crash as well with about 48, 50 laps left to go. It was really sad to see that for Joseph, but also for y'all, just in terms of having some sort of championship left to fight for into the last 2 rounds. So coming out of Gateway here, World Wide Technology Raceway, Alex Palou has a 74-point lead, I believe, over Scott Dixon. What does that mean when we get to Portland here in a few days? It means Alex, who won there in 2021 on the way to his first championship, he'll have to have a not very great weekend. Dixon will have to finish in front of him to prevent from the championship being settled in Portland. 74-point lead right now. All Palou has to do is make that 55 points by the end of the race in Portland. He is a 2-time champion. Who could possibly do that to keep that in range? Scott freaking Dixon. He's the only one left challenging Palou for the title. And again, if we haven't been reminded enough already in the last couple of weeks, never count the guy out. The odds are crazy small. Let's not be silly. But in reality, unless something crazy happens, Alex Palou will be a 2-time champion. Nonetheless, huge kudos to the CGR team. Flawless efforts on their part. Alex Palou, all over the place today. Grid penalty, great drive back by him, finishing P7. The Arrow McLaren team was really strong at times. Did not get their strategy right. Pato able to recover and finish P2, but was really not even in the conversation in the latter stages of the race. His teammate Alexander Rossi able to thrive, get up to P4, but again, we looked early in the race like, ooh, 2 or 3 car Arrow McLaren Armada might be doing something big today. So while they did finish P2, P4, and our guy Felix Rosenquist being P8, good day for them, but didn't really happen. Same for Team Penske. So bizarre. Newgarden dominant for quite some time. Scott McLaughlin really good as well. He came home 5th, right? Good day for him. Will Power in the mix, fell back, had to pit late, but strategy. I know most of us would love for the races to be flat out, balls out, from the green flag to the checkered flag, but a lot of these things require thinking, special skills behind the steering wheel, and we have to give credit where it's due. Dixon doing Dixon-like things. So let's talk about a couple of the quick things, then I'll say goodbye, and then we'll welcome in our guy Kyle Kirkwood. Wanted to catch up with him after the race. Solid crowd. Not saying amazing like we've never seen, but I was afraid that with the crazy heat, 102 degrees on Friday, then thunderstorms and heat and humidity yesterday like crazy, I was afraid we were going to have a lot of folks say, nah, I'm good. I'll stay home and just watch it on NBC. Really thankful, though, that we had a strong turnout here for the race. So thanks to all the fans who came out and enjoyed. And actually, the weather today, just about perfect. So really happy to see that. Little newsy nugget for you. It's not finished, but I am told to expect next year's race here at WWTR. We're going back to a night race, y'all. So again, nothing final yet, but I will expect that to happen. So if you're like me who wants to have IndyCar back at least with one night race per year, sounds like this is going to be it. So I can't tell if it's going to be a Saturday night race or a Sunday night race, but another good thing that I've heard here just today, and again, it's not finished, but I've heard the odds are getting higher and higher on Milwaukee coming back onto the schedule. They had a race there today of big interest to IndyCar just to see how that went as well, I'm sure. But not done, but it sounds like we're getting close to saying Milwaukee will be back. And where to me this is important, these two I think are going to have some linkage. I've heard that they would fall somewhere around the last 4 or 5 races on next year's calendar, and potentially we could have double short ovals back to back, whether it's Milwaukee first and Gateway after or vice versa. I love the idea of stacking a couple of amazing short ovals here to close the season. We're going to be looking for some news this week, some driver confirmations. The race winners team, I think we're going to hear some pretty cool stuff. If you've read any of my silly season pieces on racer.com, one that went up on Saturday, kind of gave you a blueprint as to where we're going with who should be signed and whatnot. So really happy about that. Had heard that we're going to see Toby Sowery in that number 30 RLL car that Connor Daly did really well in this weekend. Heard we were going to see him maybe at Portland, and then Yuri Vips at Monterey to close the season. Still waiting for confirmation from RLL, but I've heard more that suggest it might actually just be Yuri Vips for both rounds, but watching to see for sure. Takuma Sato didn't have a great day here again, unfortunately crashed, but know for sure that while this is his last race for Chip Ganassi Racing this year, happy to say, doesn't sound like his career is going to be done in IndyCar. There are a couple of teams I did confirm this morning really interested in having him back for the month of May. What else? Meyershank Racing, we're expecting some news Monday morning about who's going to drive the 60 car for the rest of the year there. Linus Lundqvist, who completed 3 races with the team, street course, road course, and an oval, got some great experience. Thought he did a really good job today. Came home, qualified ahead of his 4-time Indy 500 winning co-driver Elio Castroneves, finished ahead of Elio as well. So thought he got a lot of great knowledge here. I don't believe we're going to hear he will be finishing out the season in the car. So some news coming here, but and they're not the only teams with some news that could be coming here super soon on drivers. So crazy weekend. Boy, I got to go write a lot of this stuff down because my brain's overflowing with all the silly season developments just from today. But nonetheless, Scott Dixon, congratulations. You're just silly. Going to look forward to seeing him in just a little bit. We're going to crack open some beers and do our little victory lap interview there. But hey, let's get going with our man Kyle Kirkwood, talk about his race in the number 27 AutoNation Andretti Autosport Honda. We'll see you here in a couple of days at Portland. It says it's recording, Kyle Kirkwood. Hey, this guy right here, he drove his behind off here in the Bommarito Automotive Group 500 World Wide Technology Raceway final oval of the year, starting P22. You were charging all the way towards the front, had to do a bit of a late pit stop, ended what, P15 or so, Kyle? But your story was one of so many today of folks who had great pace, but based on strategy, maybe you weren't fully rewarded for those efforts.
Yeah, I mean, we had really good pace. It was just so hard to pass today.
Yeah.
That was the main thing. So everyone was doing crazy strategies, and I was actually looking at the pylon to see like where what kind of strategy we were on, and I could tell every time we were just going super long. So having that caution at one point, in kind of in the middle, was like lap 127 or whatever it was, didn't help us because we were saving a ton of fuel. So it would have been nice to not have that reset because we would have been kind of ahead of everyone on strategy. But, you know, I'm happy with it. We went forward. We gained 7 positions from where we started. As everyone knows, going forward in an IndyCar race is not an easy thing to do. And a lot of times it's due to strategy. Today it wasn't really strategy. We were able to pass some cars close to the end. And we had great pit stops. I'm sure we got a couple in a couple of our pit stops there. And but yeah, I mean, it was just hard to pass. I was fortunate enough that we could pass them at the end.
Let's talk about the alternate tires, primary tires. I don't know if that played as much of a race altering thing as we'd hoped. But tell me about running the 2 and at least what your alternate experience was like.
You know, it would have been really interesting. My alternate experience was pretty short. We only ran 20, I think less than 20 laps there at the end on the alternates. And they were great. They were great through those 20 laps. I don't know what would have happened 10 laps later, 20 laps later, but we were probably the fastest car there at the end. I was fighting with Malukas, who I didn't know was a whole lap ahead of us.
Yeah.
I nearly drove by him before the end. So it was interesting. I think if there was 2 lines here, you'd be able to make the alternates work, and it would be a really cool strategy thing. But it's just so hard to pass that. I mean, no matter what tire you're on, if you're second faster than someone or if you're second slower, there's not really much passing happening.
Let's close on this. Spoke about this last night with Callum Ilott, like you, an IndyCar sophomore. There are a couple of you really showing that, hey, these ovals, I mean, you showed us this in Indy Lights and USF Pro Championships and such, but you seem to have a knack for these ovals, Kirkwood. You like them? Does this fit your style?
It does, because it's all methodical racecraft, right? Which I enjoy. It's all timing and positioning and knowing where you need to place your car to get a pass happen and understanding what's happening, not only 1 car in front of you, but 5 cars ahead of you to see what kind of checkup you can take advantage of. It's all stuff like that, which I really enjoy. You know, I think pretty much all the oval races that we've had this year, with the exception of Texas where we had a mechanical, we've gone forward in. So I just need to pick up qualifying pace or something.
You suck, Kirkwood.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. But yeah, no, we begin the race, and I think it's fun. It's fun to pass people. It's fun to like outsmart people. That's what's so cool about the ovals.
We're going to Portland. We're then going to Laguna Seca. You've already got 2 wins this year. It'd be a little jerkish of you to get more before your teammates do, but tell me about heading into the last 2 road races. I know you're probably salivating going, yeah, I could maybe leave the season with 3 wins, maybe 4.
Yeah, of course, that's my mindset, right? I think Andretti's been really good at Portland the past couple of years. They've always kind of been a top 5 car there, so with a little bit more pace and maybe a little luck, we can win that one. And Laguna is it's a head scratcher with the new pavement, but I think we're going to thrive on it because we thrived at Road America with the new asphalt. And I mean, Andretti's been phenomenal at Laguna in the past years, with the exception of last year. So we'll see what happens. But I'm pretty excited to go back to Laguna with the new fresh repaver. It goes really, really fast.
All right, Kyle Kirkwood, one of the great young stars here in IndyCar. Strong run yet again today. I'll see you in a couple days, man. Jeez, we're not getting any break.
Did you just check your watch?
I don't have a watch, but I feel like I need a watch because I don't even know what the hell time, date. What state are we in?
I don't even know.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
All right, we will talk to you Friday. Oh my God.
We're
all right.
Just a few days.
I have no idea.
See you
We'll talk
then.
to you soon. Bye.